solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the State Office of the City of El Paso, the County of El Paso, the State of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. And I furthermore solemnly swear that I have not directly nor indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, nor promised to contribute any money or valuable thing, or promised any public office or employment as a reward for the giving or withholding of vote at the election at which I was elected. And I furthermore solemnly swear that I am not indebted to the City of El Paso in any sum whatsoever. So help me God. Congratulations.
Bravo! Yeah! Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, your duty elected as student representative, your rendition.
Thank you. I have to always kick it off by thanking my husband, Eddie Holland. He lets me be who I want to be, a city council representative for the neighborhoods that raised me. He doesn't always quite get why I want to do this job, but he knows I love it, so he does whatever he can to make it work. My kids, Hannah, John, Eddie, are always there to help out too. And then there is my dad and my mom and my brother John and Alva, who are always there to pitch in when we can't quite manage the avalanche of community meetings and baseball practices and soccer games and flamenco and cello lessons. I love you guys very much. Thank you. There are many people, friends, neighborhood leaders, business leaders who helped me during this election. Esther Bettis, my campaign treasurer, made endless phone calls to rally the troops. Mr. Jorge Almada, the president of the Central Neighborhood Association, campaigned full-time, and he would call to remind me that I needed to do the same. And he always would call and say, quit putting wood on the fire, Susie. And of course, Judy Gutierrez and Renee Leon, who managed one of the busiest political offices in town while I was out stumping and knocking on doors. Thank you very much. There's one person who has always been by my side that I can never thank enough, Commissioner Veronica Escobar. Since our wild ride during the Caballero administration, Vero and I have braved the strange waters of El Paso politics together. Whether it was digging through campaign finance reports, harassing reporters about the stories that needed to be told, brainstorming about the best way to build momentum for an important issue, or knocking on hundreds and hundreds of doors in support of a great cause or a great candidate, Veronica has always been front and center, not just for me, but for many others, ready to give her time and willing to lend her tremendous leadership and inexhaustible talents to make this city great. I'm lucky to have her as a friend, and I'm proud to call her my county commissioner. A couple of weeks ago, I walked to Ruli's for lunch. Ruli's is right across from the Placita. Out walks Paul Foster. We say hello, we ask how things are going, and I have to put this moment for you into context. The national and global economy is recovering, we hope, from a nerve-wracking tailspin. Our sister city Juarez is threatened by overwhelming violence and instability. But it is in this moment that Paul responds to my greeting by gesturing across the park to the Anson Mills building and saying, "We open this fall." The Anson Mills building was built in a moment of audacious city building. Gorgeous, towering buildings came charging out of the ground, defining El Paso as a major metropolis with greatness on the mind. Built in 1911, the building was only the second was the second concrete frame skyscraper in the United States and one of the largest all-concrete buildings. The nation took note of an El Paso on the move. Somewhere in the last half century, we lost our way. We began to bleed talent and optimism. Our daring and our confidence began to wane. Poverty defeated us and created a feast for a business and governance model built on cheap labor and little or no competition. Our place on the U.S.-Mexico border, the culture, the language, the people of this place began to weigh on us as a burden. The buildings and the neighborhoods that defined us as exuberant and fearless in the early 1990s became boarded up and abandoned, replaced with nameless, placeless, miles and miles of anywhere USA. But sure enough, steady enough, today we reclaim our heritage and the confidence that built this city. And we do this even in the midst of great economic uncertainty. Two young Karam brothers claim a 1920s cold storage warehouse on Florence, risking a small fortune on building downtown lofts. TVO and LaFay claim 2 vacant downtown city blocks to build 90 units of new housing. A small nonprofit called the Preservation Alliance claims a small, broken-down historic home on Portland Avenue, willing to bet that they can breathe new life into our most enduring neighborhoods, one home at a time. I am more and more convinced that we will only find a new El Paso, a stronger El Paso, a more prosperous El Paso, in the wisdom and audaciousness of old El Paso. Yes, sure, this means investing in old buildings and old neighborhoods, but it is more than that. It means investing in a different path. It means shedding decades of policies, practices, and business models that got us where we are today. It means that we should no longer accept but we are a poor city as an excuse to do nothing or as an excuse to keep on doing things that we have always done. It means that timid half steps are no way to defeat poverty and create in El Paso a magnet for talent and economic dynamism. Each of us, in big ways and small ways, have a role to play. But we have to commit ourselves to audacity and reckless aspiration. We have to believe that our city, this piece of land in the desert, captured by borders and sliced in half by a rugged mountain, is worth loving and worth fighting for. Thank you.
Whoa! Yeah! Whoa!